UFC 313 was pure chaos. This card was supposed to be the biggest of the year, but instead, it exploded into one of the most controversial nights in recent memory. The main event left half the MMA world crying robbery, and the other half calling it a masterclass. But that was just the beginning. We're talking about a brutal knockout that might go down as the best of the year, a shocking retirement no one saw coming, and a pay-per-view disaster that had fans and fighters blasting the UFC. This night shook up 3 divisions and sparked debates that are still raging. From the moment the fighters stepped onto the canvas, the tension was thick enough to choke on. Alex Pereira, famed for his devastating striking and storied history with Israel Adesanya, was set to face off against Dagestan's Magomed Ankalaev, a lethal grappler with an ironclad clinch game. Most pundits expected a classic striker versus grappler scenario, but what actually unfolded was far more complex. Round 1 saw Pereira attempt to keep the fight at distance, firing off crisp leg kicks and hooking to the body. Ankalaev, however, wasted no time shooting for takedowns and pressing Pereira against the cage, making it a grinding, almost claustrophobic affair. By the championship rounds, the crowd sensed the fight was on a razor's edge. Pereira landed a few highlight-worthy shots, one right hook that nearly buckled Ankalaev's knees, while Ankalaev dominated positional control, scoring trips and short elbows whenever the fight dipped to the ground. When the final horn sounded, both men seemed uncertain. Fans at home, glued to their screens, typed furiously on social media, debating what the judges valued more, ground control or significant strikes. Then came the official announcement, a unanimous decision for Ankalaev. Quite the explosion. In a post-fight interview, Ankalaev declared himself the true, undisputed king and vowed to defend the belt against all comers. On the other side, Pereira stood by the cage, visibly deflated as his corner tried to console him. Twitter went berserk. Jamahal Hill congratulated Ankalaev, praising his unparalleled ground game, while Henry Cejudo chimed in, calling the decision solid and telling fans to learn to appreciate grappling. But Ariel Helwani, Kenny Florian, and even Marlon Chito Vera responded with some harsh words for the judging. They claimed Pereira clearly won rounds 2 and 4, possibly edging the final round. Dana White, watching from the sidelines, was caught on camera grimacing as the reading of the scorecards sparked an avalanche of boos. As the dust settled, the question lingered. Had we just witnessed a legitimate crowning or a highway robbery? If the main event was overshadowed by controversy, the co-main delivered a clear-cut statement. Justin Gaethje is still one of the most dangerous lightweights on the planet. Facing Rafael Fiziev, a slick, fast striker with a reputation for stifling aggression, Gaethje had something to prove after recent ups and downs. The opening bell saw Fiziev trying to impose his Muay Thai background, whipping body kicks and prodding jabs. But Gaethje refused to get sucked into a technical point fight, applying relentless forward pressure and mixing in calf kicks that started to wear Fiziev down. By round 2, Fiziev's output dropped significantly, and commentators noted the welts forming on his lead leg. Gaethje, smelling blood, launched quick combos that culminated in a stiff uppercut, snapping Fiziev's head back. Still, Fiziev had his moments. He rattled Gaethje with a counter left hook and briefly threatened to turn the tide with a flurry of elbows inside the clinch. Ultimately, as the bout went to the judges, Gaethje took a unanimous decision victory that felt like a personal triumph, rather than just another W on his record. In the aftermath, Matt Brown openly questioned Fiziev's conditioning, tweeting, "Looks like Fiziev gassed after the first. You can't let Gaethje set the tempo." Meanwhile, Gilbert Burns praised Gaethje's durability, calling him the most entertaining brawler in the game. Rampage Jackson weighed in during a post-event panel, applauding Gaethje for evolving his style. He's still violent, but he's fighting smart violent. In his post-fight speech, Gaethje admitted he had to adjust mid-fight, acknowledging Fiziev's speed and explaining how the calf kick strategy opened up his boxing. The crowd roared in approval, glad to witness the highlight reassert himself in a lightweight division that's rarely short on fireworks. If you thought Gaethje's performance was the apex of fireworks for the night, Mauricio Ruffy begged to differ. This unassuming featherweight, carrying an undefeated record, strolled into the octagon and delivered what many are already calling the knockout of the year. Barely a minute into the first round, Ruffy spun into a textbook wheel kick that connected flush on his opponent's temple. 1 second, the crowd was buzzing. The next, his opponent was crashing to the mat, unconscious before he hit the floor. Replays showed the impeccable timing. Ruffy feinted low, drawing his opponent's guard downward, only to whip the kick high at the last moment. Henry Cejudo took to social media seconds after the finish, labeling it pure artistry. KO of the year, no question. Paul Felder, calling the fight from the commentary booth, sounded genuinely stunned, stammering about Ruffy's near-flawless technique. Aljamain Sterling chimed in later, praising Ruffy's fight IQ. He set that up like a veteran. People forget this guy's unbeaten for a reason. In his post-fight interview, Ruffy was all smiles, crediting his coaches and calling out Beneil Dariush for a future showdown. "I respect Beneil, but I'm coming for the top. It's my time to show the world what I can do," he said. Fans ate it up, immediately taking to Twitter to demand the UFC book Ruffy a ranked opponent. Even casual viewers couldn't help but marvel at the combination of athleticism and cunning. The official broadcast replayed the kick 3 times, each angle more brutal than the last. In a night overshadowed by controversial judging, Ruffy's highlight reel finish gave fans a definitive moment to celebrate, a moment that left zero doubts about who the victor was. Amid the highlight finishes and heated debates, one of the night's most poignant moments arrived with Jalen Turner stepping away from the sport. Turner's fight against Ignacio Bahamondes was never guaranteed to be a barn burner. Both were known for methodical setups and technical grappling. But early in the second round, Bahamondes locked in a picture-perfect triangle choke that forced Turner to tap. The submission itself was eye-catching, but what happened afterward had the entire arena holding its breath. Immediately following the referee's intervention, Turner sat back on his knees, gloves off, tears in his eyes. Dylan Dennis, quick to tweet from the sidelines, hailed Bahamondes' technique but also acknowledged Turner's shocking announcement. That was slick from Ignacio, but man, Jalen's been hinting at retiring for months. Moments later, Turner confirmed it. He was done with MMA. Henry Cejudo and Kenny Florian offered swift words of respect, praising Turner for his achievements and speculating on potential behind-the-scenes struggles. Rumors swirled that Turner had wrestled with mental health issues since a devastating loss at UFC 300, though the fighter himself stayed tight-lipped on specific details. Emotions in the arena ran high. Some fans applauded while others sat stunned, unsure if this was just a temporary break or a permanent end to Turner's promising career. In a brief post-fight interview, Turner simply thanked his family, his team, and the UFC for giving him a platform. He didn't elaborate further, leaving the door open for endless speculation. While the rest of the card maintained its chaotic energy, Turner's retirement cast a sobering shadow, reminding everyone that behind the knockouts and celebrations, fighters carry deeply personal battles the public rarely sees. And in a world quick to idolize champions and hype up prospects, a moment like Turner's exit can resonate more profoundly than any belt ever could. In a more celebratory corner of UFC 313, the organization announced Robbie Lawler's induction into the Hall of Fame. Ordinarily, such a moment would dominate headlines. Ruthless Robbie Lawler, one of the most beloved welterweight champions in UFC history, officially enshrined among the greats. But on this particular night, Lawler's announcement got drowned out. The ongoing controversies, questionable judging, retirements, meltdown streams, claimed far more attention than his well-earned accolade. Fans and fellow fighters voiced frustration about the timing. Lawler's acknowledgement came in between fights, right when the ESPN Plus streaming issues were peaking. As a result, many viewers missed the live announcement altogether. To make matters worse, the crowd was still reeling from a heated decision in the preceding bout, so the applause for Lawler felt tepid compared to what a legend of his caliber deserved. "This man carried the welterweight division on his back," thundered one disgruntled fan on Twitter. "He deserves better than a rushed announcement sandwiched between controversies." Even so, Lawler seemed genuinely grateful. In a short backstage interview, he expressed surprise and gratitude. "I've been through wars, big wins, tough losses, but I always fought the way I wanted. This means everything to me." Rumors then began swirling that Lawler might not actually be done fighting. Some close to his camp hinted at one more potential bout before an official retirement, maybe a legacy fight with another veteran. But in the swirl of post-fight chaos, the rumor was barely a blip on the radar. Lawler's induction could have been the heartwarming highlight of UFC 313, but it ended up as yet another footnote on a night that refused to slow down. So there you have it. UFC 313 delivered on its promise of high-stakes drama, but it also opened a Pandora's box of debates, grievances, and raw emotion. We witnessed Magomed Ankalaev clutch the belt amid an avalanche of boos and furious tweets, Justin Gaethje reigniting his legacy with a statement win, and Mauricio Rufy all but cementing himself as the owner of 2023's most jaw-dropping knockout. We saw Amanda Lemos scrape by on the judges' scorecards, leaving half the fan base convinced they'd just witnessed a robbery. And let's not forget Jalen Turner's sobering announcement, a retirement that reminded everyone this sport can take a toll on mind as well as body. Outside the octagon, a meltdown on ESPN Plus left thousands of fans without a stable stream, demanding refunds or at least some kind of explanation. Tucked away in all the pandemonium, Robbie Lawler's Hall of Fame induction arrived with less fanfare than he deserved. Just another sign that even legends can be overshadowed on a night when chaos rules. But now, we turn it over to you. Did the judges make the right call in the main event? Is Gaethje's victory a stepping stone toward another title shot? And what about Mauricio Rufy? Should the UFC fast-track him into higher-ranked competition? Let's keep this conversation rolling in the comments. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here, and smash the like button if you love these post-fight breakdowns. Let us know which moment from UFC 313 shocked you the most. Where the only certainty is more unpredictability in the wild world of mixed martial arts. Until then, stay safe, stay hyped, and we'll see you soon.